morning, guys. This is me, 𝐂𝐴𝐚. I'm back again to chess.com fans, and we are continuing talking about calculation, technique of calculation. And this time, I'm presenting you one of, let's say, important things, important, let's say, items while you're calculating. Most important, not most important, but important questions while you're doing this. What could be missed by you? You know, sometimes when you are trying to calculate position and you're spending time and time and time, and you believe you're almost there, you're definitely there, but something not working well, something like missing, something, maybe some small detail, but it is definitely missing. You know, I always said that through my lectures, I always teach my students. I taught most of my grade students, and I've been giving you my advice. And I'm still going to remind you one of the most important questions which you are responsible to ask you every single time while you're calculating. You see, guys, calculation is just a part of your, I don't know, thinking process. It's easy. It's like algebra. You know, you have a formula, apply formula, done. But the thing is, before you actually calculate, you have to definitely understand what do you want? What are you playing for? Seriously. I know I keep saying that to you guys, maybe some of you guys laughing, but that's the most important question. Because sometimes, since you don't have clear picture in your mind, you simply could miss a very important move in your calculation. Let's talk about these positions. This is, I choose this position from Dvoretzky book about technique of calculation. And this is a famous study of Votava back to 1938. So what we have here is situation when white is down a pawn, obviously white trying to make a draw, right? Let's see how we're going to think about if we want to make a draw. I mean, we don't know yet if it's draw or not, but let's say in the real situation, real game, and white would like to make a draw, all right? So positionally, strategically, it's very hard to make a draw because black has two passes here. This guy is kind of weak, right? And let's say if we're trying to stop it, then I'm going to play. Then this is going to run. I don't think so I can actually make a draw. Let's say question is number one. If I have a chance to make a draw, what could be reason for me to make a draw? What is my process? What is right with me? What is good with my position? Or what is wrong with black's position? And if you would see like more and more, you will spend time to try to understand this position, you will notice one important thing. You will notice this guy here doesn't have that much squares because c8 square, it's protected by pawn, d8 by rook, e8 by king, f8 by king, g8 by king. Now we basically have 1 and 2 and 3 squares available for the rook. And let's say if you try to attack this rook, he's going to go away. So again, as more time you spend here, as more you will figure out there is no way you can, let's say, try to make a draw in this position by playing normal moves. Like rook h1 losing h3, you play king g7 losing because rook e8. But since you saw kind of problem with h8 rook, the next question for you should be, all right then, if I can make a draw by playing normal human moves, maybe I have a chance to make a draw by creating some kind of, you know, not normal, not human stuff. And again, as my first question taught me, there's always two ways to finish the game. By making normal moves, let's say logical results, and by creating some imbalance, by looking for some creative way. And if you think about unusual way to make a draw, it's been stalemate, it's been perpetual attack, all this stuff. And clearly, since we understood, you know what, the idea should be around h8 rook. There is only that chance for us to have. Otherwise, I don't see any other subject. Possibly I can try this, but black has easily responded by capturing pawn on b7. Since you believe it's all about chasing the rook, attacking the rook, because put this way, I can actually do something. You see, I can do something and rook has no room. It means only I have to do to make sure this will never happen, because see, this rook here has so much space. So thinking from the end, you understand your only chance to attack the rook. You understand your only chance to make sure black rook doesn't have freedom by e-file. What do? You cut the freedom. You play e4. Well, now black has obligation to capture your pawn, and then we attack the rook. And it's very funny, no matter how black played, your king always attacking the rook and keep chasing the black rook, and black rook has no escape, and we are making a draw. Again, if you wouldn't ask yourself those questions, if you wouldn't try to actually, let's say, understand this position by details, you would never ever be capable to find the solution. Any position, trust me guys, any wild type position, if you do, let's say, organize yourself and you ask yourself as many questions as possible regarding that position, if you understand what's going on, then solution, variation comes to you very easy. Very easy. You only require from you the discipline to calculate properly. But before you're doing this process, it's most important for you to understand what's going on. So this is the first position I'm presenting to you. Second one will be pretty much same things. What could be missed by you? Sometimes, again, I'm going to remind you, sometimes some funny idea could be simply missed by you because you're simply stuck on something. All right, I'm going to put the second position now. All right, well, this is second position, and now I'm going to use different source. I also recommend actually this source to everyone who thinks about to improve his calculation. One of my most favorite books regarding this things. It's called Chess School. It's a Russian version by international master Alexander Majia, and this is volume number 3. Well, this is important position again in direction to understand how we think. Well, why trying to win here? Why trying to win here? Because obviously white has extra piece, and so obviously if you have extra material, you are keep thinking about how I'm going to try to win this game. But anytime when you are trying to save your bishop or save your pawn or save your rook, you are dealing with problems. Let's say you're trying to move your bishop somewhere, then we have this cover check, and then this guy's gone, and now you're actually losing here. Let's say if you're trying to make move like that, then black will take again this cover check, and you will never win this game, because in fact we have drawish material on the board. So I guess the problem is we are trying to keep this guy alive, but at the same time we need to figure out what we do with these two pieces. I mean, it's tough. If you play this, looks like you are found like genius idea to cover this check, and it looks like you even have some kind of discovery check by white side. But okay, nothing smart happens here. Nothing smart happens here. In fact, after this, you're going to give up this guy again, and again, it's draw. So what we do? Let's check one more time. Shall we try this? It's still go here, and check, go back here. So anytime when you're trying to do something like that, black has a defense. You play here, you attack the move, clever, but still discover a check, and still guys here. Well, you could spend countless minutes or some time, and it's still hard for you to figure out what's going on. And this is the question which you have to ask yourself. Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe it's something I'm missing, and what do I missing here? And let's now calm down and try to understand what are we playing for. What could be, let's say, exactly the idea for you to proceed and understand what is this position about. All right, let's talk. Are we playing for mate here? Are we believe we're going to create mating net? If we do, then the picture should be moving my bishop on from h8 and making rook h7, h8 checkmate. So I have to make 2 moves in a row. My opponent must do nothing and just look at me and chill, and then I'm going to work, I'm going to mate him. Impossible. Impossible, because anytime what they figure out, that picture is not going to work. Anytime if you're going to move your bishop, you deal with concrete FG move. So I guess then my picture should be different. Maybe my picture is trying to promote my pawn. Maybe. Oh, you know what? Actually, I like move g7. Let's check. Well, he can't take my bishop, my rook, because I will take his rook. But the problem is, if I play g7, his rook will move somewhere, and I'll move. So it looks like I kept my piece. But let's see. Can I actually improve my position? Because it looks like these 2 guys completely stuck, and only black has to do to defend back rank. And do I have any improvement? Well, possibly my improvement would be if I put my king on f6 and somehow I will attack f7 pawn. I don't think so that will happen here, because anytime when your king will reach f6 square, black rook will always be able to make a check by 6 rank. So I guess that still pretty doesn't work. But one thing clear to me, it's more about g-pawn than it's about like trying to mate black king. So it looks like I'm coming to a conclusion. It's very important for me to do something with my g-pawn, right? Well, if you will believe it's important for you to deal with your g-pawn, then you're going to understand, maybe it's about trying to promote my g-pawn. Well, clearly, you're not going to consider to take on f7. So it has to be about g7. And since you saw original problem with your g7 move, initial move g7 on the move 1, you understand your problem is actually your own bishop on h8. And when you figure out that, solution comes very easy. You check, and then you play. Well, time it's done. Game is over. You can't take it to rook because the rook hangs. The rook has to go somewhere, and we simply winning material by making this move. So you see, that's how the process works. Again, the question what could be missed by you, it's always important in your calculation. And sometimes, like in this position, missing stuff could be so funny, so interesting, which honestly, if you are make lazy decision and play fast, you're going to get missed this. But again, understanding like direction, what you want, it's important. And here we made this analysis, we analyzed the process, and we understood it was more important to us to keep g6 pawn. It was more important to us to consider possible promotion for g6 pawn, and that's how we understand. Since we saw kind of idea by playing g7, we understood we need to first actually get rid of our own piece, our own bishop on h8. All right, I'm going to put now next position to you. And this is my position number 3. I'm using the same source, chess school value number 3. So this is a situation when white tried to, obviously, black queen hangs and you would like to play for a win. And obviously you saw if you take black queen, then it's going to get stalemated, so you're not going to win this position. But since black king's in a bad shape, you kind of keep looking for maybe creating mating net, stuff like that. And I guess after a few seconds by looking for that position, you will figure out, hey, the move is definitely bishop e4. I mean, it's kind of logical because one thing I can understand, this guy has to move anyway, all right, because let's say simply black has a threat to take on h1. It means if you even use like a very simple process of elimination, you understand, well, if I take his queen, it's a stalemate. If I move my rook, he's going to capture on h1. So I guess I have to move my bishop. Well, clearly, there is not too many squares to move, and the only square, kind of protected square, it's e4. Well, sounds cool. We covered the fourth rank. Black queen has no access to attack white king, and I have a big time threat, rook h1 checkmate. I mean, maybe for a few seconds you're going to be very happy, very proud of yourself by finding like bishop e4 move. But if you spend a few more seconds, you will understand black will continue to do the same strategy by giving away their own queen and try to, find a stalemate. They will find queen e1. And here you go. This is the moment, and in this position, some of my students, like let's say around like 16, 17, maybe 1800 level, they actually failed. They actually failed right here because, my opinion, all this type of position is supposed to be spending like between 5 and 10 minutes per position maximum. So they fail because they reached this. They actually only, let's say, brought bishop e4 done. They kind of missed, firstly, bishop a1 move. But if you, let's say, try to be have more discipline and try to be more organized, you would simply ask yourself, hold on. So what's going on? Very first time, I refused to capture his queen because it was idea of stalemate. So I found bishop e4. So he played bishop queen a1. So let's see what's going on. He attacks my rook. I can't take his queen because same stalemate. If I move my bishop, then he's going to have access to attack the rank, the fourth rank, and he's going to have access to bother my king. Well, so looks like my bishop cannot move. All right, so I can't take his queen, and I can't move my bishop. Well, if I make, let's say, rook e2 check, then his king will run away, and I will lose mating net. I have to make a move with my rook, but it looks like my rook doesn't have that many squares. I mean, nothing smart here, what I'm going to do. But if you will understand, again, this is all about not giving black queen so much freedom. If you will figure out black queen cannot have any access to bother your king, and you understand you cannot actually take his queen, then immediately you will find that square. You will find the only square, rook b1. In fact, these kind of exercises must be done before you reach position after first move. So that position must be reached in your mind from a original position. It means no moves cannot be made at the board. So whole solution, the whole puzzle must be done in your mind without making any actual move at the board. So you see, that's how a process of, let's say, finding those things works. Remember, there's always chance for you to miss something. That's why stay organized, stay calm, and try to understand what's going on. Try to simply explain position as simply as possible for yourself. If explanation will be right, then solution will be right. So after rook b1, the black queen pretty much trapped. Black queen has no access to make any possible check. And if you take on b1, I'm going to capture back, and I'm going to take those pawns and promote my pawn and win this game. Well, I hope you like this short kind of lesson regarding all this technique of calculation, and we're still going to continue to talk about how to improve our calculation in our next lessons as well. Thank you, and good luck, and have a fun.